Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi, and this week I'm going to be talking about how my last week went, readjusting, returning back from a vacation, having 7 eating days in a row, a break from fasting, the subsequent weight gain, and how that's been going. So I'll get into more of the details later, but I'll tell you the little recap on my weight fluctuations and how that has all gone. So my last weigh-in was July 18th. So basically a month previous to that, June 20th, was when I hit my goal weight. My goal weight was 175. I'm 5'11", and I actually got down to 174.1 that day. So then the weekend after that, I had like a staycation here in town with my family. Then the following week was when I left for my trip. And before I left on my trip, I was 176.7. So I had already gotten up from my goal weight and my low by a couple pounds. And then when I went on my trip and I had 7 eating days in a row, I weighed in at 185.6. And then I fasted on that Friday and I was already back down to 181.0 on Saturday. So I was actually pretty encouraged by that. I thought that I would get down pretty quickly like I had in previous times that I've taken breaks, although this is definitely the longest I've ever taken a break from fasting. It was 7 days versus 4 days was the longest I'd ever gone before. So yeah, then I had a week of fasting last week. I fasted Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I will talk about something that didn't go quite according to plan during the middle of the week. And if you follow me on Instagram, then you'll already know what I'm talking about. But I weighed in at 180.1 last Saturday. So that was only 0.9 pounds down from the previous Saturday. And that's still 3.4 pounds up from what I weighed when I left. And it's also 5.1 pounds up from my goal and 6 pounds up from my low. So definitely didn't make the progress that I was hoping. But in reviewing my week and just thinking about all of it, I realized some things that I think are going on. First of all, just having 3 extra days of eating beyond what I had done before, I think that made quite a difference. So what happens in your body, and this is going to be like an oversimplification, but when you eat food, either your body uses it as quick energy, or if there's extra, it gets stored as glycogen in your liver. So then when you fast, your body uses the quick energy first, then it will go to the glycogen stores, and then if there is no insulin circulating to block your body from accessing your fat storage, then your body will access the fat. But if you have a lot of circulating insulin, or if your glycogen stores are filled up, then you're not going to access the fat storage. Okay, so what I believe happened over those 7 days is that not only did I kind of increase the insulin in my body by eating a lot and constantly for those 7 days, but I also refilled my glycogen stores. Now, what I had done previously on other, breaks is that when I came back, I would always kind of consciously cut back on sugar and carbs, which I definitely did not do last week. I actually ate a lot of sugar, like compared to previous times during the week. I do try to cut back on sugar normally on weekdays, talking about like my Tuesday, Thursday eat days, which, sometimes works out better than other times, but that didn't happen this week. I took my son to the Cheesecake Factory for his birthday. I was just eating chocolate. I mean, all the stuff, you know? So I basically did not help my body to come back into balance. And I think it's important to realize that even though I'm focused on not restricting, I do want to feel good and I want to have my body in balance. So when we swing one way, it's important to kind of take steps to, you know, swing the other way a little bit to bring us back to the center. And so that's what I kind of need to focus on for the next couple of weeks. So in doing that, what I've planned to do is I am going to cut out sugar this following week. Just Tuesday and Thursday, the weekdays, I'm eliminating sugar from my weekday eat days. And I'm not going to cut carbs because this is the week before my cycle. So I've heard many times that that's not the best idea to do when you're about to start your cycle. Talking about menstrual cycle. But then the following week, I will probably be cutting back on carbs a little bit. I think I might do an egg fast day on that next Thursday. That's what I'm thinking. And if I do it, I will give you more details on that and let you know how it went. But this is kind of the decision that I've come to. It's important for me to say that this is not punishment. I don't want this to feel like a punishment. It's not because I feel guilty or that I made a big mistake. It's just because I've decided that this is what my body needs to get back into that metabolic flexibility and fat burning, which I stepped out of and kind of placed myself out of balance. And now to readjust and get back to that place that I was at, I need to take steps to get there. So that's really all this is about. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about, just kind of like my main topic today, is last Wednesday I had an interesting experience where I had my first modified fast unexpectedly, or rather just unplanned. So when I'm talking about a modified fast, I'm talking about a lot of people, what they do when they're doing alternate day fasting is they have more of what I would call an up and down day approach, where on their down days, they eat anywhere up to 500 calories. And then on the up days is just a regular eating day and they eat whatever, or I guess if they count calories, they would eat additional calories. Okay, so I have not done this up until now, but I've always been curious about it and I've wanted to, you know, experiment and try it at some point. To me, I just felt like it never really appealed to me because I liked the simplicity of not eating anything on my fasting days, and there's also some added benefits to fasting for a full day, so I never did it. But I know that a lot of people do, and a lot of people really love it. So on this video, I'd really like to hear from you guys. I want to know if you have done a 500 calorie fast, or if you do it normally, and why, what types of things you love about it. So I can totally see some benefits. The benefits that I see are that, for one, you get to eat every day. I know I heard a story about a lady who did the 500 calorie fasting day, and so her husband never even realized that she was fasting because she always ate dinner with him, and so it just felt normal that way. So I can kind of see a benefit to that. I know that there are a lot of social situations where, you know, maybe people who go out to dinner with people often, you know, don't want to feel like they're just sitting there with their water, not participating. And so a 500 calorie option could be really good. And I would say that that's a good backup option for anybody, even if you don't do this normally, just to kind of keep that in your back pocket if you need it. Like if I'm in a social situation, you know, you can allow yourself up to 500 calories and you can still call that a fasting day. So yeah, and then I know there are people who take medications that they need to take with food, and so that could be really helpful for people who to take medications and just to have that option. There have been studies that have suggested that people actually lose more weight with this option. I'm not sure if that's an actual like thing to do with your metabolism, or if it's just because people tend to stick with it more if they have the option of the 500 calories. And I know that sometimes people just feel less restricted if they get to eat every day versus having a whole day not eating. For me, and these are kind of the reasons why I haven't done it, is that I feel like it would be hard to stop. And okay, so let me just go back and tell you what happened. So this was this past Wednesday, which is always pizza night for us at my house. So I made pizza, my family ate, I really wasn't even hungry. I walked over to put away the leftovers, and there was like a whole pizza left. And I looked at it and I was like, it's like, I really want to try this crust because I bought the pre-made crust from Trader Joe's. And I was like, I really want to try it because I haven't tried it in like 10 years and I wonder if it's good. I was like, I don't really want to try it tomorrow when it's not fresh. I want to try it right now. And I was like, well, I guess I could do like a 500 calorie day because I've been wanting to try that anyway. And so before I knew it, I was slicing off an eighth of the pizza, which I ate, and I was like, well, I want more. So I had another eighth, and I was like, okay, I have to stop because, you know, I didn't count the calories exactly, so I'm not sure what it was. But I knew that if I ate more than a fourth of the pizza, it would definitely be going over that. So I was like, okay, I really want to eat more, but I'm going to go brush my teeth and I'm just going to push through it. And so even though I wasn't hungry before, I definitely became hungry after. It woke up my appetite and made me want more. So luckily it was 5:30 at night. I didn't have that much longer to wait until I went to bed. So I was like, I'm just going to push through it. I have lots of experience pushing through hunger and wanting to eat. And so I just tapped into that experience that I have, and it was fine. Like, I got through it, but it was hard. It was definitely hard, and I definitely didn't feel like it did anything for me in terms of anything. So basically, pizza is probably not a good 500 calorie option for me anyway. Maybe some people are fine with it. I've heard that lower carb is better in these instances. My virtual friend Laura, hello if you're watching, Laura Hirth, she's a fellow YouTuber. I know she does like heavy whipping cream in her coffee on fasting days, and it's about, 500 calories. So that's kind of like a 500 calorie meal, but you're drinking it. So I guess that is good for her. She likes it. But she has also said that it would be hard for her to eat something and stop after that. So, and that's also really low carb, like there's no carbs in heavy whipping cream. So I think that maybe that contributes to it. So you'll have to let me know what your experiences are with what works for you if you do the 500 calorie option. But yeah, for me, so hard to stop, yes, especially with something like that that's just like tasty and really wakes up your appetite. It does interfere with some of the fasting benefits. So, the longer you go, the longer those health benefits, the cleaning up inside of your body is going to happen. So if you break that fast in there, you are going to stop those benefits. So if you're someone who really is leaning into fasting for health benefits or to lower insulin resistance, you may want to just go 0 calorie to get those benefits. And like I said, so it may not bring down your insulin enough. And I feel like because of my situation after my vacation, what I really needed was to have those full fasting days to get myself back into that place. And so that kind of like threw me off a little bit, I believe. So probably bad timing to experiment with modified fasting after a vacation like that. And then the other thing is just having to count calories. I don't love counting calories. I don't want to count calories. It's just not something I want in my life. So doing that modified fast is having to focus on calories and also just having to think about what you're eating. Like when I have my full day fast with 0 calories, I just don't even have to think about eating at all. I think about eating because it just sounds good. And I definitely look at pictures of food and like add recipes to my YouTube playlists and stuff. But as far as like having to plan what to eat, I don't have to think about it at all. And I love that. So I just think that there are definitely pros and cons, and it really depends on you, and you just probably have to experiment. But I will say this, that if you are someone who has been doing alternate day fasting with a 500 calorie option, and that's the only way you've ever done it, and you're struggling, you may try doing 0 calorie and you may be surprised how easy it is, because I was, and for me it has just worked really well and I really like it. So, you know, that's something to consider if you are struggling. But to wrap everything up, what I want to say is just that I want to reiterate that even though my body is readjusting and I have had a little bit of a setback in the scale, and it is disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's frustrating to have to go back and hit those milestones again that I already did, especially right after hitting my goal weight. I didn't really get to like sit there at all, you know, I just went right back up pretty much. So it's disappointing, but I don't feel ashamed. I feel like I made a choice in my life, and now I have to figure out how to get back to where I was. And that's challenging, but it's just a part of the learning experience. It's a part of this journey that I'm on for a very long time. I honestly plan on fasting for the rest of my life. Like, not alternate day fasting, but some form of fasting I will use, because it's so good for you and it's good for me. And I just plan on staying in this lifestyle. So I want to say that, and that if you have somehow gotten off the path, whether intentionally or unintentionally, I want you to know that you shouldn't feel ashamed, that it is just a part of your life, and you can also get back to where you want to be. And it may take some time because your body has to get back to that place, but that's okay, because it's worth it. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, especially as the numbers are not as exciting as they were, but I hope you'll stick with me, and yeah, I hope you're doing well. Let me know. Talk to you later next time. Bye.